up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre, the tour reviews and reviews. Back in here with one more video. Guys, we're going to have a fantastic conversation here today. So put your seatbelts on and let's get active. First and foremost, shout out to Flacco of the No Jumper Network. Keep doing your thing, my G. He recently sat down with none other than Rollo Tomassi, who mentioned me in particular issues with me. So I want to be able to go over it. Now, let me also preface this conversation in saying that I've talked about Rollo Tomassi a couple of times on the platform previously. Most recently, there were statements that were brought up in terms of a Twitter conversation that he was having. And one of the things in his Twitter conversation was about young men getting vasectomies. I did content on it. He then went back later and did a debate on Fresh and Fit, where it was like him and another gentleman and versus him and Sneeko. He then clarified a lot of his statements. Anyway, so I just wanted to set the context of where I've talked about him before in the past. But to my knowledge, he has never mentioned me. So I thought that we investigate together. All right. Without further ado,
you can go look at people's thumbnails and say, is this guy an ideas guy or is this guy a reactor? Is this a guy who's just waiting for the next crisis to happen so that they can do a reaction video?
Yeah.
Or are they actually doing something? Do they have a product? Do they have an idea? Do they have a book? Do they have anything that is novel and new? 98% of the time, no, they don't, because they're waiting for people to talk shit about someone else so that they can go do a reaction video. That is Abba and Preach. That is MTR. That is anybody who's an outrage broker, right? And so it was just the new hotness, and I just called him out on the bullshit.
Okay, so first and foremost, it seems as though Rollo Tomassi has bucketed me into just simply a reaction channel, into his words, an outrage broker. And let me just say, guys, first and foremost, I kind of agree and disagree with his statements right here. Let me go over which component of it that I disagree with first. I disagree with that you could just look at channels just on their thumbnails and be able to tell if it's a reaction channel versus an ideation channel, right? An idea channel. I don't think that you can necessarily do that, because although he's bucketed me into just simply a reaction channel or an outrage broker, he probably doesn't also know that I do have products such as the Modern Man's Playbook, where my goal is to teach young men how to be the man that other men respect, as well as teaching young men how to be the man that women want deep inside of them, as well as another digital product that I ideated literally out of nothing called Transcending the Red Pill, which paints to modern men today exactly how our society has become so abhorrent with feminism and sexual liberation, and then details to them how to transcend past ideas of the red pill to be bigger, better, faster, stronger. These two things alone I have created, and I offer them to anyone who follows me if they want to. And if not, then enjoy all the free content that's up on YouTube. By the way, links down in the description box down below. So if he judged me just based off of the thumbnails, that would immediately prove that point incorrect. However, what I do agree with him on is this idea of outrage broker. And here's the thing, I wouldn't necessarily describe it as that. If someone walks to me on the street, typically when people come up to me on the street and ask me yo, what is your channel about? I say that I take viral video topics, I tell a story about them, or I just commentate over that scenario so that those that are watching can have a better understanding of the world that they live in. So as they conceptualize life for themselves and how they can be solution oriented or just be a better version of themselves, they understand how to do that. But what confuses me about that is that everybody does that, right? I did content on Adam 22 in his situation, but you know who else did content at? You, Rollo Tomassi. So does that make you an outrage broker because you did content on something that was going viral at that particular junction? So really what I'm trying to say is what really makes us different, right? And I know that I deliver content in what I like to call an edutainment style, whereas you deliver content in a much more educational style. And different styles, I think, attract different amount of view counts. But I do think to call us outrage brokers, but then also not say that a Fresh and Fit isn't an outrage broker. I mean, they got a lot of eyes on their platform due to the kickouts, due to the outrages that would happen in studio on their set. And they took advantage of that and continued to grow their platform.
Now, well, one, I do want to get to you and MTR because I had no idea. You feel me? That there was some type of beef there.
I've never said two words to MTR, so I only see what I see. Right?
Yeah. Damn, we've been here for what, 3 hours? God damn. Yo, who knows?
Dude, I do 4-hour and 5-hour podcasts regularly on. I only do one. It's on Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Here, right, but right now, right. Look at this, right? Cool. But so what's your issue with MTR? Or why don't he like you?
I don't know. I don't know. Does he not like me? I don't know. I'm not a. I look at what MTR does and what he's talked about in the past with like Fresh and Fit. I know he's come at Pearl. Which please keep going at her now. I had a problem, now I don't have a problem anymore. Please do. It's all it's on you, bro. Go get him.
Let me just clear the air before we go on right now. Rolo, I have absolutely no issues with you whatsoever. In fact, I know that you've written a book that gets high accolades, high praise. I haven't read that book, not because I just don't want to read it, but because as a content creator, I don't want to subconsciously lift content from the book and then be speaking about it. Because sometimes what can happen is that I can totally forget where I heard something from and not attribute it to a particular book. So I didn't want to muddy my content creation waters with something that someone else in the space also created. So yeah, brother, I have no issues with you. In fact, I respect what you've done for the space and continue to do going into the future. Let's go.
But no, I don't have a problem with him. I just think that his profit model is based on outrage brokership, and it's all reaction stuff. He doesn't offer anything new. He just talks shit about other people who are actually out there doing something. Right? And he's not alone. I don't want to just hit on him. There's other guys that do the same thing. But as far as MTR, and there's was it Hamza? And there's some other guys, and remember we were talking about like guys who want to leave the manosphere. Yeah,
I'm still failing to see what the particular issue is, right? Like if you want to call it outrage brokerage, which I think is a much more negative version of just taking viral video topics and telling a story about them. If that's what you want to say, you should have issues with everybody that you do content. I mean, you're cool with Sneeko, right? If that's not outrage brokership, then I don't know what is. I mean, the brother was so outrageous, he got kicked off of YouTube for it. So then what is the difference between me and a Sneeko? There seems to be a place of dissension from Rolo when it comes to how I have chosen to garner an audience. And I'm a bit confused about that because just like I think that if you look at a basketball team, everyone has a particular role, right? You got a point guard, you got a small forward, you got the power forward, you got the center. The same thing happens in male-focused content. You have different people on the track towards the same goal, but they might utilize or leverage different ways in order to hit said goal. I think that the reason that my channel has blown up to 600,000 subscribers is not only because I'm a hard worker, but then also too, as I talk about these different topics, I talk about these topics from being in the streets. I am actively in these goddamn streets. So I think that I can come across it with a degree of nuance that others may not have the opportunity to be able to do. Rolo, you've been married for 30 plus years, and although you can talk through the prescription, you're not actively in the streets. I mean, shit, a scientist that just has ideas is just a bullshitter at the end of the day, unless those ideas are pressure tested against some type of hypothesis. It's the reason for peer-reviewed articles. I would think that the commentators within the space are utilizing real-world experiences to talk through the situations that they are seeing while also testing it against the proxicology of Red Pill. But yeah, I think that my channel has grown because of the audience that I supply content to. They know exactly what it is that I'm talking about because I can talk so fluently about it because I am so actively involved in it as well. Shit, I just went down to the Dominican Republic not too long ago for a trip down there, and that shit has re-red pilled me because I'm going down there tripping. Listen, y'all girlfriends that are taking on these goddamn girls trips that are in relationships, they ain't in no goddamn relationships when they down there. Married women coming down there taking girl trips, taking off their goddamn wigs. Married where? These chicks are down here, wildin'. Modern women. I can talk about them for days and on days. These chicks are wildin' on it. And how it is that I know that? Let's continue.
Coach Red Pill, Corey Wayne, Hamza, I guess, John Sonmez, MTR as well. We're leaving the manosphere. We're done with the manosphere. And then you go and they'll do this like a year ago, and you look at every video they've done since they said we're out of the manosphere, we're done with the Red Pill now. Everything that they do, all their reaction videos are Red Pill reaction videos. Every last one. You never left. You're just simply talking shit about the same guys that you wanted to be a part of. Yeah. But now you've left the manosphere. No, you haven't left the manosphere. You're still doing the same material.
Yeah. Now,
If you left the manosphere, you would be talking about like fishing. You know, you'd start a fishing channel, or you'd start a sports channel, or you'd start something that's completely off topic. If you quit the manosphere, get the fuck out. There's the door. Leave, please. There's too many of you.
Audience don't give too much
Go.
to leave, man.
There it is. Please leave and stop talking shit about people in the red pill in the manosphere. If you're done with the manosphere officially, then get the fuck out.
Just leave, man.
What's so funny about these comments right here is that I, MTR, never said that I was in the manosphere to begin with. It is a place that I was placed because I was talking to men with an RP undertone, and my channel started to bubble. The audience placed me there. So much so that at the point, and I think it was like end of 2021, before it was popping to say things such as we're leaving the manosphere or we're leaving Red Pill, I made a video proclaiming that in the title. The interesting part about that is, and maybe to his credit, he doesn't realize this, is that the content style of finding said modern woman that says something utterly ridiculous, bringing it onto the platform, having a conversation about it with RP undertones, right? Cutting that video up into a 10 to 12 minute video, posting it to the channel, and doing it daily, day after day for a male audience is a style that I created. After I started to win with that particular meta, a slew of reaction channels or commentary channels started to pop up, emulating the exact same format to a T. And it's shifted since then. I would say we actually went through a whole compilation phase for the past year or so, which I believe is on the tail end as being the top on its meta. But to tell me to stop doing a content style for a particular audience that have not seen it to that degree before, within an audience that placed me into a manosphere when I never said that I was a part of it to begin with, is average at best. And while we're on the topic as well, because it seems as though in Rolo's comments, he's saying that I am just a reaction channel and I have no ideas. You know what's an idea that I created that now you benefited from? Rollo Tomasi now has a show called Access Vegas. On that show, they are interviewing women. The format of that show leverages Fresh and Fit's model. You know whose Fresh and Fit's model leverages of talking to women in a live studio audience? Fresh and Fit leveraged the model of Kevin Samuels, which was talking to women, but talking to women in a live stream format. Do you know whose channel that Kevin Samuels looked at to leverage the idea of talking to women in real time? Because mind you, Kevin Samuels started out for the first 5 years of talking to men, but do you know who he looked at? Me. I was the first content creator to talk to women day after day. Look back to my content back in 2019. I would take a video from Steph is Cole, shout out Steph. I'd take a video from AMS, shout out AMS. And I would have a pretty young thing sitting right next to me, and we look at the content and react to it. And let me tell you, I got so much flack at that time period for doing that. I was the first creator ever that ideated the idea to have these conversations with women. Because what did I always say? I said, you can't have the education without pressure testing it against reality. Because once you pressure test it against reality, you can understand which components of the education actually makes sense. Now, I will say that what I did was nowhere near as entertaining as Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, and probably not Access Vegas as well. Forgive me, I haven't seen much of the content from it. But yes, I was the first content creator that was associated in this space that had these conversations. These conversations are live still on my channel. Anyone in my audience, feel free to go back in there and you'll see the type of conversations that I was having at that time. Anyway, guys, I believe that's the rest of his comments. So let me wrap it up right here. Shout out to Rollo Tomasi. I really appreciated hearing your comments. And I think especially as someone that has much time within the space and has seen so many of the different transitions, I appreciated hearing your feedback regarding me and kind of the state of what it is that you see over here. And the thing is, guys, all my G's that watch the channel right here, understand this. Feedback is a gift. And it's something that I mastered when I used to work back in corporate America. I was a fiend for feedback because whether or not I agreed or disagreed with someone, it gives me enough information to do damage with, right? Like if I don't accept feedback and I just go on a straight and narrow path, how will I know what my boundaries are? How will I know what my roadblocks are? How will I know what is the thing that can set me to another place or set me over the edge that will make me better than the rest or differentiate me as I go into the future? So for that, appreciate Rollo and his comments. But inevitably, we just do content in a very different way. And depending upon how we choose to do content, we'll garner different types of audience bases and foundations beneath that. You know what I think actually happens in these YouTube or these content creator streets is that if you do content, and maybe it's because your audiences may cross-pollinate, but if you do content to similar types of audiences, but you guys, never talk, never speak, like maybe one might say something about the other person, it can come to a place of like, does this person got an issue with me or does this person have a problem with me? It's just like similar, like if you walk into like a party or an establishment or something like that, and then like everyone's dapping each other up, but there's that one dude across that like you haven't dapped up, and then time goes by, you think to yourself like, does he not like me? Does he have not a problem with me? No, there's no problem whatsoever. Rollo, if you ever want to reach out, I'd be more than happy to have a private conversation with you. We ain't got to do nothing for the YouTube streets, just to build the bridge, just to connect. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. What do you guys think about the reaction here today? Do you guys agree with the things that I'm saying? Have any angst regarding the things that I'm saying here today? Drop me some comments down in the comment box below, and we'll make it a discussion. All right? Until next time, YouTube.